No, I just got closer to it. It's the old-fashioned technical correction. We were kind of talking about, I guess, criticism on the internet, and she's like, I got a great idea. You can read through the hate mail section. And she goes, read through it real quick, just so you don't make any mistakes while you're reading it. And I'm looking through like, oh my god, I gotta read all this. Okay, so you guys get ready. We got a lot of fan mail. Some of it was hate mail, and we built a special page on our website to feature the worst of it. I hand-selected some choice excerpts, very choice, for the website back in the day. You are the worst act I've ever heard. Avril Lavigne is way better than you. But so are the Backstreet Boys. And they fucking blow. You ugly-looking fuck and the hairy French-looking Chinese chick. Okay. I'm not usually into violent imagery, but when I'm forced to listen to your album, I start channeling violent thoughts. This shithead in my work, where we have an employee playlist on all the time, keeps putting coin-operated boy on the playlist. I hate you. And I hate her. The female in the band looks like a German Gestapo unshaven monkey shit. The dude in the band is a coin-operated child molester. Please eat shit and die. The hate mail page included as the centerpiece this letter to the editor in a Boston music zine. It always amazes me how easily impressed Boston audiences are, especially when it comes to an act like the Dresden Dolls, who are not only mediocre as a duo, but totally unoriginal as well. Amanda can't get through a show without trying to shock people, and her piano playing is atrocious. It's obvious that the real brains and the real musician in that band is Brian, stellar drummer by the way. Too bad his playing is totally mocked by Miss Palmer. I can't help but wonder, if Amanda didn't act like a total ass, or rather, an attention-starved daddy's girl, flaunting her flabby, hairy body to everyone and playing herself off as a performance artist, would anyone care? The hate mail page became the most heavily trafficked spot on our website. People started writing to thank me for being brave enough to display the nastiness, but it didn't feel brave. It felt like the only option, the only way I could deal with the pain. I still practice this same style of internet jiu-jitsu this day. I grab the hate and I air it out, try to laugh at it, and share it back out into the world, so it doesn't eat me alive. Around the same time that we built the hate mail page, I started blogging regularly, sharing the good press, the bad press, and the emotional struggles writing the I am loved, I am hated yo-yo of praise and criticism, as I tried to simultaneously balance touring, recording, managing the band, and whatever shreds were left in my social life. I was beginning to learn about online abuse, but as people started to follow my blog by the hundreds, then the thousands, I also had my first taste of crowd power, and how double-edged the sword was. We had just gotten our giant label check, paid off our loans, and had enough left over to buy a top-of-the-line drum kit for Brian, and my heart slamming with pride. I was signed. I was legitimate. I started to shop for my first real piano, with a budget of $20,000. To replace the dilapidated, untunable piano on which I was currently composing in my apartment. Someone had been about to throw it away. I'd paid the moving cost. I wanted something bright-sounding and rugged, since I had the tendency to break strings. I went into every single used and new showroom in Boston, fingering the keys and nooks and crannies of every piano for sale, with a kind of erotic disbelief that I was in a position to actually buy one. It felt so incredibly real. One day I walked into a little piano shop in a converted old house in the suburbs. There were only a few other customers poking around. A lone nice-looking guy in a cardigan was minding the floor. I sat down at one of the baby grands and started test driving it with some loud Beethoven, then with one of my own songs. I closed my eyes and listened, feeling the weight of the keys, hammering away like a maniac. The guy approached me politely. I stopped playing. Miss? Hello. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Holding my breath, I stood up, picked up my bag, and walked out of the store and back to my car, and before I could process what had happened, I broke down crying. I drove home, and still weepy, took to my blog. I poured out the whole story for my small readership, how ashamed and angry I felt, how devastating and embarrassing it was. I included the name of the shop and the address, and encouraged my fans to write the guy a letter if they felt so inclined. It wasn't until the next day, as I read the few emails from fans who told me they had proudly written letters to the shop in protest, that I felt the gravity, the stupidity, the meanness of what I had done. I imagined scalding hate letters piling up on that poor guy's desk as he tried to eke out a living running a little piano shop. Sure, he was a dick for throwing me out of his store, but wasn't I a bigger dick to torment him like that? And wasn't it even more dickish to use my own fans as weapons of destruction? Ashamed by my realization, I went back to my blog, removed the store name and address, and wrote a follow-up post, telling my fans that I'd been an idiot diva and that it was insecure teenagers talking. Then I prayed that the poor guy would be left in peace. I was afraid to drive down the street for a while. I had sampled the power of cruelty, and it tasted awful.